In the cutthroat world of finance, it is dog eat dog. But what does one do when that dog also happens to be the person that you love? First-time feature writer and director Chloe Domont delves into this volatile environment to explore the precarious balance between the personal and the professional when a couple, who at first seem passionately in love, find themselves in direct competition with one another at work in the emotionally taut erotic thriller Fair Play.
How did I get so lucky?
Are you talking about me or your job?
Okay, sorry.
Are you getting married?
We're getting married. I wish we could tell the whole world.
We're gonna have to tell him sooner than later.
Morning.
Morning.
I think it's the right time to admit we're breaking policy.
I hear you're taking over for Quinn.
What?
I overheard it on a call.
Chloe Domont had a long history working on other people's projects, so when it came time to write and direct her own feature film, she made a statement, and it was Fair Play, a movie that explores power and gender dynamics through a captivating couple with a toxic undercurrent, Emily and Luke, played by two of Hollywood's young burgeoning stars, Phoebe Dynevor, in her first major role since leaving the hit period drama Bridgerton, and Alden Ehrenreich, familiar to all as none other than the young Han Solo from the Star Wars universe.
Judita DaSilva, Arise News, Nigeria. Chloe, I just want to ask that you made your feature film debut as a writer and director with Fair Play, and you get Netflix's backing, you get Daphne from Bridgerton and Han Solo from Star Wars as your leading stars.
Yeah.
How much pressure did you really put on yourself to get it right with this film?
I mean, look, I wanted to hit it as hard as I could, so, but I would say I didn't feel, yes, you always inevitably put pressure on yourself, but it didn't get in my way at all, because I was so thrilled to just be in the chair and have this moment to tell this story that I so believed in and so felt like it was a story that needed to be told. Because I had spent so many years directing in television and working on other people's shows and other people's, stories and serving their visions. And it was like, finally, this was my opportunity to show my own voice. And so I was just thrilled. I was really like the joy of being able to make my film, I felt was such a privilege, that I just let that joy run me through the whole shoot. And it was really the greatest joy of my life. Like writing the film, I would say it always has its challenges, and because you're alone in a room, and you don't have the collaboration from other people. So I think that tends to be where I felt more of like the the thoughts and the pressure would come in. But in terms of like being on set and directing, I was just, I don't know, I was just in the zone and excited to be there.
We're gonna go grab a drink. You wanna join?
You made half the big calls last quarter alone.
So, what do you want?
He's promoting me.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry.
Why? I'm so happy for you. Okay.
Wonder how she got the fast pass. Reporting to her?
Jesus, man.
Look into this. Let me know what you think.
I'm still working on the 3 from before.
Okay, we'll make this one the priority. Can I buy you another?
Now that you're making more money than me.
The chemistry on screen between Phoebe and Alden as Emily and Luke is undeniable, which lures the audience into a false sense of security, making it all the more unsettling and even disturbing when things take a dark turn and their individual ambitions at the competitive financial firm where they both work stifles their relationship at home, and in time, this turns lovers into competitors and then adversaries.
Phoebe, this film is not shy about being graphic when it comes to showing the friction between sex and power, who has it, who wields it, how they wield it. Did it make it more interesting for you playing your character when the person who has that power keeps changing over the course of the film?
Gosh, yeah, I mean, the thing that's interesting about this film in particular is the journey of their intimate life, I would say. And I think it was really great that we were able to kind of have a week's rehearsal with an intimacy coordinator as well as our director, Chloe, to figure out how it changes, you know, how their sex changes from the beginning of the movie to kind of, you know, by the end of it, which is very much about power. And so getting those scenes right was really important for the journey of the characters, from beginning to end. And yeah, we were just very lucky that we really got to rehearse them and figure them out, like kind of, you know, a stunt. Every scene was treated as a stunt in that regard.
Once Fair Play gets going, it hooks you in and maintains an intensity that does not let up until the movie fades to black at the very end. That suspenseful momentum is driven by the director's clarity of vision and purpose when making this film. Simply put, Chloe Domont felt this was a story that was necessary, so it had to be told, and told in a way that forces the viewer through a visceral discomfort that comes with being confronted with certain realities of human nature.
And there's a lot of dark eroticism woven into the interplay between Phoebe and Alden's characters. Why did you venture down that path narratively?
Well, I set out to make a thriller about power dynamics between men and women on the ugliest level. You know, so for me, the film always had to go to those darker places. And you know, and if you know, want to get specific about it, I would say, you know, the film, in my opinion, always had to escalate to sexual assault, because ultimately, when you break down sexual assault, it's not really about sex, it's about power. You know, and like I said, I set out to make a thriller about power dynamics on the ugliest level. So for me, like that's the level of ugliness that it needed to go to and it needed to hit. And then because the film needed to go to that place, in my opinion, then the ending is about, you know, what Emily does about that, you know, and then how she reclaims the power that Luke takes away from her in the bathroom.
And in the fullness of time, I think that Fair Play will probably be regarded in the lexicon of films like Margin Call or Working Girl or Network or Disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
But when people look back on your career and remember where you started, how would you like them to regard Fair Play as your debut?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that people actually kind of forget that this is my first feature film. So, you know, I think that yeah, I think that this was, you know, a story that was burning inside of me and a story I could not tell. And I'm really proud that this was my first feature film.
What are you doing?
You know it's just a game.
You played very well. Are you gonna pitch me to Campbell?
I don't think it's a good idea. We both can't keep working here.
I'm not quitting. This firm has become my religion. You have become my God. You give me this opportunity, I will give you everything I got.
Are you out of your mind? You're gonna end our relationship by setting off a bomb.
Playing Luke, the troubled partner of Phoebe Dynevor's Emily, required an actor unafraid of diving headfirst into the mental health quagmire of a man hell-bent on success that repeatedly eludes him. Alden Ehrenreich assumed the role and delivers an exceptional performance that will have you on the edge of your seat, constantly and apprehensively wondering, what is he going to do next?
And for Alden, your character, quite frankly, is emotionally unstable. And while playing this volatile personality, there's that scene after the assault happens where the camera's on you and you're looking at Phoebe, and with your eyes alone, you go from anger to panic to regret to apologetic, and you don't say a word. And I remember just watching it and saying to myself, oh yeah, he's good. So I just wanted to know, like, what is your process to be able to execute something like that so sharply and without saying a word?
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
That's
I would
very
love
nice
to
of you.
know that too.
I think that you have to give yourself to whatever's happening in front of you, and you need to do whatever you need to do beforehand to understand what's happening. In this case, with this script, there was so much detail, nuance. Chloe had such a clear understanding of who this person was. This was clearly based on a person or multiple people in her life. She knew that their inner workings in an intimate way, and you could feel that in the writing. And so, you do what you do beforehand to prepare, and then you surrender, essentially, and be there for whatever's happening.
That idea of surrendering, it's a question for both of you, really. Playing this couple that bounce from love to hate to passion to resentment to supportive to scornful, it's such a roller coaster by the end. I'm not sure who I like and who I hate or who I understand.
Yeah.
For you as actors, generating a rapport with one another, did it ever get hard to find your center when you're on this emotional roller coaster?
Yeah, I mean, when I was shooting the movie, I always understood where Emily was coming from in her story, and at what point she dropped, I think there's at the beginning she's like protective of Luke and protective of his ego, and there's a moment that I think she very much drops that, and I could understand all the emotional beats, and I think that goes back again to Chloe's incredible writing, where I could just understand at any given point why Emily is doing what she's doing. I think Luke for me is very different on, like, when we were filming it and when I read the script, I could never really truly understand Luke's point of view or his perspective. Yeah. I did understand it when I finally watched the film. I didn't understand his character, but I understood him, his inner dialogue of being crushed by and a product of his environment. And that's very much in Alden's performance as well, of where I could understand his feelings a lot more when I watched the movie. That is not to say that I understand him, but yeah, as you say, they're both very complex characters, but I think they're dealing with being in this modern society where things have changed a lot and people haven't really caught up to it. So yeah.
No, but bravo to both of you. Excellent, excellent performances. And thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. It was a really nice interview. Thank you.
Yeah.
When gender roles are inverted and power dynamics subverted, the primal nature of male and female can be evenly matched, especially when they clash in the high-stakes pursuit of winner takes all. And Fair Play shows the audience to shocking effect that all is not so fair in love and war.
We all do filthy things, but we don't trick it back into the office.
Why is it so hard to accept that I deserve that job.
I never got the shot!
This job, it's killing us.